But eventually someone's going to have to eat the chip on the podcast.
It's going to be Natasha.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not.
Wait, actually, it's not because we're catching up to Vegas right now.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's no way in hell I'm able to even muster up the courage to buy the tinned mussel without my smelling salts handy. There's just no way. You can't make me.
You're just ripping it in the grocery store aisle.
You're gonna make me eat this chip. You can't take my smelling salts away from me. That's the rule.
We'll do the smelling salts before the chip in.
Welcome to Wrinkles in the Crease, where we take a look at the stories in hockey and iron out the details. I am your host, Zach Morgan. I have with me Trevor Neal and Natasha Gerson, my co-host. Trevor, Natasha, what is going on?
I feel great.
I'm awesome.
I feel great. I'm so tired, but I'm ready to go.
Oh man, yeah.
It's a lovely morning.
What a lovely morning. Yes. Lovely.
Saturday?
Lovely Saturday morning. Oh man. So, Saturday morning, Friday night happened last night. Some of us, we had some things going on. It wasn't clear actually that we were even going to be recording this morning until well into the night, at least well into my night, well after my night had begun. That is my understanding.
Same with me. I was 3 hours away from home. You're like, let's record first thing in the morning. And I'm like,
I never said that. That was Natasha.
Yeah,
Natasha who said that.
I suggested the morning recording,
and I was just like, all right, yeah, I can do that. All right, fine, sure.
I'm like,
so I was out celebrating someone's engagement. Happy, very happy for them.
Shout out to them. Congratulations.
Shout out Tommy and Casey. Really, really happy for you guys. As stated, did not think we would be here, but more than happy but couldn't be happier that we are. So, I was naturally celebrating. I didn't drive, so I was responsibly enjoying some adult beverages.
As you
that, in a sense, we were joking that I might show up hungover, and that's just how the show would go on. I'm happy to report that didn't happen. But in a sense, what I was doing was attempting to tank this episode. Would you not agree? That by knowing that we had that, and continuing to potentially drink, rather
you could just purposefully gotten hungover and then skip out.
No, that doesn't happen. People don't purposely.
We would have made you record anyway, and you would have just been hungover.
Yeah, exactly. And the episode would not have really been tanked, but my performance might have tanked, and my ranking in the standings may slip, putting me in a prime position to get a nice Connor Bedard draft pick. Would that not?
Right.
Yeah.
But no one would ever intentionally do that. But no one would intentionally try and do that. No one would ever intentionally do that, right?
No.
So
they would never.
So, obviously, if you haven't picked up, Gary Bettman a few days ago, literally the day after we recorded the last episode, I think, went on and said to reporters, nobody tanks because we have a weighted lottery. He said that before Montreal faced the Bruins. You're not going to lose games to increase your odds by a couple percentage points. That's silly. And quite frankly, suggesting tanking, I believe, is inconsistent with the professionalism that our professional players and coaches have. Nobody tanks.
Do you know how I respond to that? The Buffalo Sabres are the Connor McDavid year.
You can look at that.
Everyone that the Leafs and the Austin Matthews
You
year.
can look at what you can look at what happened during the 2016-17 season with the Colorado Avalanche, who barely got 50 points in the season. I actually don't even think they got Anaheim right now. So
a lot of teams right now. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
So
a lot of teams are trying.
Now, this is a take I also heard. You have to be fair to Gary Bettman because he's absolutely not going to. If there's one thing he's not going to say right now, it's the truth. He has to protect the face of the NHL, which is fair. But at the same time, the idea that we all know that is a load of crap.
Exactly.
If you're a hockey fan and still think Gary Bettman quotes mean anything, you don't pay attention. He's a lawyer. He's very, very good at answering questions by saying nothing.
He is very good at looking out for the best interest of the NHL. No one can deny that.
Yes, he's very good.
No one can deny that.
Plus, he's not allowed to say teams tank because the legal implications of that. he can't say teams lose purposely. Teams are not allowed to lose purposely. It is very illegal. because there's betting on it now. He can't say teams lose purposely.
No, yeah. That's like a whole can of worms that he shouldn't get into.
I
Yeah,
agree.
it's-
But at the same,
And saying that they would tank hypothetically is also pretty unprofessional. Just
Yeah.
outside of the whole legal part. So
yeah,
But, like,
no,
look-
this is the position he has to take. He has
Yeah.
no choice.
it
Like
makes sense.
Do-
this is
do
a
teams-
song and dance that we just have to do.
My
Do
my
teams purposely lose games? I don't think so.
when I saw that, I was like, sure, Gary. Like, sure.
Sure, Gary. Thanks
Sure,
for the quote.
Gary. Thanks.
Zach, should
for
I
that.
elaborate on my take there?
Yeah.
That teams don't lose purposely?
I mean,
If you want,
I don't think you can convince a professional athlete to lose a game purposely.
No,
I really don't think you
I
can.
agree with
that's
that.
true.
Too.
But the GMs and coaches sure have conversations behind locked doors of we should keep this guy out of lineup a little bit longer than he needs to be.
100%.
Let's oh no, that guy scored too many goals on the power play. Let's put him on power play 2. Oh no.
I mean,
Pete
everyone
Parenteau
loves to
scored
win,
20 goals for
but
Leafs
people
once and
also love
everyone's pissed.
money. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Guys, is Trevor Zegras going to get sent down to the AHL just
Oh
to
my
ensure
God.
the Ducks
Stop
get
it.
down the
Stop
stretch?
Stop it. Stop
I'm
it. No.
glad.
Now, you're just bringing up guys who currently haunt Natasha to bring her great pain.
Trevor Zegras is an elite NHL player.
I have no. I
He needs
mean,
to
I'm
get
not.
some-
I'm not
He's a
saying
sheep.
stop, but I'm
Come
just calling it out for what it is.
Yeah.
So speaking of Trevor's, Trevor, what were you doing last night?
I was at the New Jersey Devils game.
That's right.
How
It
did
was
that
the New
go?
Jersey Devils game in Dallas.
Yes.
So
A lot of Devils jerseys.
a lot of Devils jerseys.
Damn right there were.
I'm glad to see they traveled well. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure how many would actually be going
Though
to.
I will say
Dallas?
teams have traveled better to Dallas than them. And some
Yeah,
weird teams have.
I know a large portion of the fan base was well, not a large portion, but many of the people in my circle that go to games were going down to Nashville. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure a couple made the trip to go to Nashville
Nashville's
and then
more
Dallas.
fun than Dallas. Let's be
Yeah.
real here.
Yeah, no.
It's-
We usually go away. This is a trip that we've gone on before around this weekend, so it's a good time.
Calgary
guys.
traveled better to Dallas than New Jersey did, but it was
That's
good to see some Elias jerseys. I saw a few Brodeurs, a whole lot of Jack Hughes jerseys, though.
Oh, a whole lot of Jack Hughes.
I don't think I
Interesting.
saw a single Jesper Bratt.
We're all
That
fans
hurts.
of
Damn
him.
shame.
That hurts me good, but hurts
But
me
it's
bad.
hard for me to see most of the jerseys from the press
That's
box,
fair.
so I'm not saying there weren't any.
That's fair. But on to the actual game. What were some of the things that really stood out to you?
Dougie Hamilton is an
I mean,
amazing
He's a
defenseman that
beauty.
we need to talk about more.
We love Doug.
And also Jack Hughes may be a top, I don't want to say top 5, but top 10 player in the league easily.
This year, I'm
Easy.
going to
Like
let
right
it
now,
slide.
yeah.
But next
This
year,
year, top 5. This year, top 5.
I mean, this year top 5. But I'm saying
Yeah.
next year is when we start the actual conversation that he is a top 5 NHL player.
He's on pace for 55.
He's on pace for 55 goals this season. That is
Damn.
Yeah.
for
That's
as
what
good
I'm
as we thought Jack Hughes was going to be. We did not think he would be this
Not
type of
this
goal
good.
scorer.
Not this good.
No one.
No.
DeBoer said, someone asked Pete DeBoer about Jack Hughes postgame, which I'm really glad someone did. And he just said he's known Jack since he was a kid. I don't know how. what
The
that
Hughes
connection
family
is.
has been in hockey for
They're
a
intertwined.
long time. Yeah.
But Pete said he's known that this kid was going to be special since he was a kid. And he even said we're just scratching the surface of what Jack Hughes is capable of.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Absolutely. His
And
career
to
is gonna
get-
be nuts. Like
And to
We'll
get
see
that
Jack
from the
Hughes in
opposing coach after
5
you just
years.
beat him in overtime.
Jack Hughes is gonna be a superstar.
If he's
Is Jack
not
Hughes
already
better
at
than
this point.
McDavid?
He's
Are we ready
already,
for that
you
conversation?
No, we're not. Do not
Wait, what?
do not ruin this by doing that. Let him evolve into what he can
Yeah.
become because
He's
he's
got so much potential to be like
he is the most exciting player to watch in the Metropolitan
Amazing.
Division.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I wish that were
Has
that
he
were an exaggeration.
is he just the most talented player in the Metro now?
He very well could be. I
Well,
mean,
who's
Maybe.
else in that conversation? For just most talented all around players in the Metro. Crosby,
well, I mean,
but I think
you
he's
can't
over
you
Crosby
can't
now.
have this conversation without including Jesper Bratt, but obviously Sidney Crosby, yes.
Sidney Crosby, Jesper
Yeah, no,
Bratt,
seriously, Sidney Crosby.
Guys, I don't say Ovechkin. I'm sorry.
I don't say
scores
Ovechkin.
goals, but-
Before the name that comes to me before Ovechkin, it's weird that I'm thinking this and struggling to say it, but Zibanejad. Like I honestly think that
he's up there, but I think he's a tier behind your Jack.
He's definitely a slot under Crosby and Hughes for sure.
Jack Hughes is probably one of the most impressive players I've seen come to visit the Stars.
Yeah, well,
and
I encourage you
Mitch,
to first of all go watch live hockey wherever you live. Go watch live hockey. There's nothing quite like
drive as long as it takes. Get tickets to it.
Okay.
Hop in your car and go.
Even your local team, just live hockey is something else. If it's the best sport to watch live, and that is constantly being told to me by other people who prefer other sports, and also I'm biased, so I can't really.
If you don't like hockey, just go watch it live.
If you get if you are nearby an NHL team and the Devils are coming to town, buy a ticket. Jack Hughes is becoming one of those players that you just need to see live. There's no way around it.
Are we forgetting Martin Necas though?
Necas has been fun. Necas has been a lot of fun to watch this season.
He's been really good.
Necas has 2 overtime goals against the Stars this year, 3 overall. His 3 overtime goals are more OT winners than the Stars have combined.
Yep.
Absurd.
Legendary.
Oh my god,
Necas. That one hurt because he tied it for the Hurricanes the other night against Dallas and then won in overtime.
Yeah, you were saying
he has an overtime twice.
So this is now the 3rd game in a row where the Dallas Stars lost in overtime 3-2.
Yes, 3 in a row. No.
Ouch.
Pete DeBoer started. He walked up to the podium and immediately said, before getting a question, "I'm assuming y'all want to talk about overtime." And apparently in the locker room post game, Jason Robertson said, "You better not be making any tactics for the 3-on-3 All-Star game," since he's coaching the Central.
That's hilarious.
They like, and he made a joke like, "I'm gonna go sit in a dark corner in Florida and figure out what's going on." Like, it's like I said, the Stars have 2 overtime wins this year, or 3 if you count the one shootout win they have, and like 9 losses. Like they can't do it. It might be 10 now. Whatever it is, like it's bad. When they get the 3-on-3, it's awful.
To me, it just seems, after watching the Stars, very obviously my attention was elsewhere last night, but from what I saw, the Stars they're not built on speed.
No, you're also seeing a Stars team, and DeBoer said this as well, is leading the league in games played, and they're not the young, like they've got some older guys on that team. No,
but
right.
There's a young core. There's young players on that team, but guys like Ben, Sagan, Faxa, Luke Glendening plays on the Dallas Stars.
The majority of the core is much older than some of the other.
Ryan Suter's played every game so far this year.
Which hats off to Ryan Suter.
So unexpected.
Dallas Stars fans hate him with a burning passion because they gave him a 4-year deal, 4 or 5 years.
Okay,
that's why.
But how's he playing this season?
So people expect him to be Ryan Suter of like 2011. He's not. He's a stay-at-home, second or third pairing guy, and he's adequate. I don't notice him when he's on the ice. As someone who watches the Stars with the intention of I have to cover them and talk about them in a professional manner.
He's not someone
he's adequate. He's good enough. I don't notice him that much, and that's for a guy of his age and his situation. That's all I want.
And that cap hit is
rough.
It's not the easiest to swallow.
What is it?
There are. This isn't like PK Subban for $9 million on the Devils.
No,
that was a hard. Who was really good when we had him on the 3rd pairing and were able to hide him. But
yeah, what is Suter's cap hit exactly?
His cap hit is $3,655,000.
If he's playing on your second pairing, I believe he kills penalties. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He's a good locker room guy. I know that for a fact. He's a nice guy. He's good to talk to. He's good with the media. Are you mad about paying that?
No.
It's a little expensive, but
especially when you consider this is a guy who you bring in because he is ideally a veteran presence that has seen some victory. This is a guy who was on that team, on that USA team in 2010. Like,
and he's the perfect
there's locker
guy to
room
teach
experience that's valuable there.
Perfect guy to teach Nils Lundqvist. I think they're on a pairing last night. That I want some of Ryan Suter's defensive abilities to rub off on Lundqvist. They're great to have together.
That's fair. That's fair.
But Zach, you finally got to watch Miro Heiskanen in detail. Somewhat.
He's special. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time.
All year.
But
he's
Miro,
truly
he's
a special player.
Special. And yeah.
If it wasn't for Cale Makar, he might win a Norris or two.
If it wasn't for Cale Makar, he might win a Norris or two. And you know what? He's still the right pick over Cale Makar for Dallas. He fits so well into what they do. He's so good. And
just gonna get better.
The sky is up. The ceiling, yeah.
He is just as important to the Stars' development as Jason Robertson, if not more. And like guys like Ty Dellandrea, who are probably going to be the future captain. Miro is more important.
And just to remind you guys, like Miro Heiskanen, Nico Hischier, Cale Makar, these guys are 24. Their best hockey is still very much ahead of them for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
And Miro's already guys playing first pairing minutes this year. Some people were nervous with how he'd do with the departure of John Klingberg. He's stepped up perfectly. He's good. He's very good defensively. Everyone knows Miro Heiskanen's an offensive threat. Dude can shoot the puck. We all know that. But he's really stepped up in every possible way this year into that role.
Keeping it with the Stars, though, I believe Mason Marchment has now gone 20-plus games without scoring a goal, something like that.
Poor Moosh. He's having a rough go of it. Last December and January were not favorable to him.
Would you say it's just a case of the puck not really bouncing his way, or
yeah? Because he even had some opportunities last night. Like I said to the guy next to me in the press box, if there's one Star I want to win this in overtime, even though I know damn well they're not going to win it in OT, I want it to be a Marchment because he just needs one. When you're watching a player that's not scoring, you're like, if he just gets like an empty netter, his entire season changes.
Yes, I know exactly the player. We'll see what happens because Miles Wood was kind of going through that type of deal. He scored a really good goal last night that tied the game.
Of course he did. I was pissed.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's also a Texas native doing that.
Is he really?
No, I'm mixing him up.
No, there's no way. There are some weird players that come to play the Stars.
Oh, that's Buffalo, New York. I'm mixing him up with Blake Coleman. Excuse me.
Yeah. Seth Jones is a Dallas native. I did not know that. It was a big deal when he came to play us.
Yeah, that tracks. His dad is Popeye Jones, who was an NBA player. He famously, when he was playing for the Nuggets, he ran into Joe Sakic, and he asked Joe Sakic, because his boys were playing hockey, what he thought he should do to help them progress. And Joe told them
not know this story.
Joe Sakic told Popeye to have his kids focus on skating because he figured correctly that they might have some athleticism and size due to the fact that their father is Popeye Jones.
Yeah,
Popeye Jones is a 6'9" power forward.
If your name's Popeye Jones, you're a unit. I've never heard of this person before, but
I know Popeye Jones is 6'8" and 250 pounds during his.
Seth Jones makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. So that's the fun fact. If you didn't know that.
Yeah, but the game concluded in overtime, and I was told to specifically ask Zach. You're a few drinks into last night, not too many. What goes through your head as Tyler Seguin does a little bit of a muffin go past Jake Otten?
Okay, it's not even what Tyler Seguin does during that. The Devils' past few wins have been these exciting games that end in overtime and end in overtime wins, which obviously makes it a lot better. So,
how many straight OT games has it been for you guys? Because it's been a few as well, hasn't it? Excluding Nashville.
But if we're just talking wins in overtime, it's been at least the last 3 wins the Devils have come in overtime. At least because they won in overtime last night. They won in overtime against Vegas, and then they won in overtime against Pittsburgh.
Yep, all last week.
And the games against Vegas and Pittsburgh ended in overtime on Devils power play because the Pittsburgh game, we talked about it, but that was so early. Pettersson left so early, and it was
Yeah.
It was a tripping penalty on Ben Hutton. But I digress. So honestly, my friend texted me after the Jack Hughes goal, and the first thing in my my state of mind at the time, I just sent him the music video to Ava Max's "My Head and My Heart." I felt like that might be appreciative. After the Devils beat, I don't remember which team in overtime. The that standy version, mostly just a lot of like really aggressive, like bass heavy pop. That's usually what's going through my head. Also, the fact that Jack Hughes is amazing.
And he's pretty. You can even tell from the press box.
But Nico's prettier.
That's true.
That being said, I don't.
Authority for that.
This is a hot topic right now. I know one of the hotter topics, but I want to put a pin in this. One of the other things that I think about though, considering the month that Vitek Vanacek has had, 7-0-0 in January, and the season, do we start talking about him as being a contender for the Vezina Trophy? We look at what he's done this season. He's 21.
I'll let you two go first.
I say no.
With a 917 save percentage and a 2.29 goals against. He keeps the Devils in games. He steps up and makes incredible saves. Trevor,
Exactly.
How did he play last night?
He won the Devils that game.
Okay.
And when you consider what he's brought to the Devils, what they so desperately needed after last year. Consistent goaltending.
Zach, give me unbiased. Is Vitek Vanacek really going to be a Vezina candidate?
I do not know. I don't think so. I don't think
do you want the real answer here, Zach? He's the third best goalie in New York.
Got him.
Yeah. There's
it's much, and you know
just
as good as anyone how much I hate the Rangers and Igor Shesterkin.
I mean, I'm willing to admit that Igor is really good when he's
It's a hard sell to get him above Shesterkin and Sorokin.
Yep.
And Saros.
Yeah.
Connor Hellebuyck's having a hell of a year.
He is.
It's a hard sell, Zach.
I'm not saying it's not
a hard sell.
I'm not
as
saying,
much as I want to see it get recognized.
I'm not saying it's not. But you look at the wins. That save percentage is.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. The goals against is good. This is a hell of a season, and it's just something to consider. I think. I do believe there are guys ahead of him who are more deserving, but at some point we need to put him in the conversation.
Don't we really piss you off? I give the Samsonov before Vitek.
Interesting.
That makes sense, though.
I mean, knowing that,
pardoning the fact that they gave up 6
seeing that you're wearing a Toronto hat, it makes sense. Yes.
I bought this Blue Jays hat for the sole. I bought it after the Tampa series, so I could wear one thing Toronto that reminds me of success. And not even the Jays have been successful. I just wanted to I wanted to feel a little bit better.
So, I just want to point out, you say Samsonov is someone you consider over Vanacek.
Samsonov. It's Samsonov.
Samsonov.
He asked politely for them to change the pronunciation.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Thank you.
He currently has, in 22 games played, a 16-5-2 record. So he's played less games. And a 916 save percentage with a 2.37. So nearly identical stats there.
Before last night, he had not lost a regulation game at home. And he shouldn't have played last night. Murray got one up high, was supposed to start, got one up high in warm-ups, and decided to sit. So he was thrown in last second. So you have to take that into account of giving up 6 last night.
Okay, hold on. How is Ilya Samsonov in the position? Samsonov, right? Samsonov. Excuse me.
It takes. I do it.
It takes a lot because I don't know why I have that. I don't know why I have that second aggressive just
because it's how it was in Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samsonov. It's interesting to me that he's in the situation where if Matt Murray decides, I don't feel right, then obviously you have to go.
So the situation was before Matt Murray's last game, he got torched. And Samsonov got 4 straight starts. And Samsonov's clearly gotten that starter role and was just supposed to get the night off against Ottawa. And Murray takes a weird one. The team has said there's nothing wrong. something's nagging him. It aggravated in warm-ups.
Which, yeah, that sounds about right.
It happens.
No, when you're that large, just if you don't, it's very easy to not stretch correctly, and one thing goes the wrong way.
It was a puck that hit him weird. And he didn't feel right. Like I said, Samsonov's supposed to have the night off. He's clearly the starter in Toronto. Zach, you were right that Matt Murray is now the backup. And Matt Murray scares me when he's in net because it's a little shaky at times.
This is the least predictable thing that I could have seen.
This happened all year. Yeah.
This was
what was not predictable. Samsonov being as good as he is.
That's true.
We did not see that coming.
No, Samsonov is living up to the prospect that we thought he could have been in Washington, but for some reason,
he's found himself a nice little home in Toronto.
Oh yeah, he has. This is a situation where I feel like most of the goalies involved, Vitek has made a home in New Jersey. Samsonov has found his way in Toronto, and Washington seems more than happy with Darcy Kemper. Like, it's very hard
it's weird that Washington screwed up 2 goalie prospects so badly, and yet everyone's still happy.
Yeah, everyone's still happy. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, the only
good for Darcy Kemper too.
Darcy Kemper's playing really well, and
he won his cup and then found a nice little home afterwards. He's good.
Yeah, so nice. He's doing the right thing, playing good hockey.
Everyone's a winner. We get those situations so rarely. Everyone wins.
Honestly, the only person who really maybe lost in the situation is
Braden Holtby.
That's true. Where did he end up?
Are you going to tell her, Trevor?
He was in Dallas. He's in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's where he is now, I think.
He's in Vancouver now?
Is he playing, though?
Oh, he's not.
I don't think
he's done.
He's not playing yet.
He is an unrestricted free agent, but he was most recently with Dallas, excuse me.
Yeah.
And
he did not play much. He did not play much as a star because he came in as
he played 24 games, put up a 10-10-1 record.
You want to know why he only played 24 games? Because Jake Ottinger came into the NHL.
Yep.
He got shafted by that.
He did. They put him on LTIR, and that was kind of that.
It's it. Yep. Sorry, Braden. You're a goalie, and when you start to suck, it all goes downhill from there.
But it has been reported that Holtby is supposed to miss this entire year and could potentially be forced to retire by that lower body injury he suffered.
He had a good career.
He did. He had a good career. He did.
He dominated a cup run.
Sorry?
Did people remember that he was not the starter going into those playoffs? Does anyone remember that?
No.
Philip Grubauer was. It did not do well against Columbus in the first round. They switched back to Holtby.
I can safely tell you I did not remember that because I only remember him. Excuse me.
It was like the first 3 or 4 games. Grubauer couldn't stop a beach ball. I think it was Grubauer. And they put Holtby back. And Holtby's good. He's got a lot of rest.
Well, Holtby's always been a guy who would play better in the playoffs than he did in the regular season, except for of course, 1 year where he won 48 games.
Washington was weird with him because he played more games than anybody else for a while.
He did. He was a real workhorse goalie. He was a workhorse goalie for a very long time. It was actually surprising when he only tied the record Brodeur set with 48 because he was in position. He had the 48 wins going into game, I think, 82, but they decided to rest him for the playoffs.
The dude needed rest.
Yes.
But there was a while there, as much as like the Braden Holtby kind of is a little soured now with how his career ended up finishing, there is a time there where he was the last goalie you wouldn't face in the playoff series.
100%. 100%. He carried his breakout year. He carried Washington as far as they went. Yeah. And for a long time, it was as far as Braden Holtby takes us.
If it wasn't for the fact that Washington was cursed in the second round for a while, he probably would have won more cups. It just Sidney Crosby was magical for 2 straight years and got in the way.
More than 2 years. He suffered. The Rangers got in the way a couple of years. There were a lot of playoff struggles before Washington finally broke through.
Zach, something's about to come out of my mouth. You're not going to like. Matt Murray prevented Braden Holtby from fully having what he deserved. Matt Murray.
The disrespect you just put on Sidney Crosby.
Wow.
You don't remember how magical Matt Murray was.
The disrespect you just put on Sidney Crosby.
And Phil Kessel.
Exactly, actually.
Okay, where is this?
Next, what's next? Is Zach Hyman?
No. I found actually, shortly after we hit record, I found this little gem. So let's talk Rangers a little bit, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rangers have a fun owner. If you guys check the Slack, you will find the article I'm looking at. So
Hey, what the hell's wrong with James Dolan?
The Rangers are playing, reasonably well. They're currently in a playoff spot, if I'm not mistaken. James Dolan owns the team. Many might argue that the team is successful despite his ownership. And James Dolan, for if you're somehow unaware, he garners a lot of controversy because he is, in addition to owning the Rangers, he owns the New York Knicks, and the Knicks have not been good for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Even I know that. And I don't watch basketball.
I mean, yeah.
They're a joke.
I know.
So, we all know.
The Knicks currently, it's been talked about. They have a tier system. When you are a known face and a critic of the ownership, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already, tracking you based on, your opinion of the Dolan ownership, Knicks, Rangers, what have you. They already have facial recognition for that. The article that I read today, and I did hear about this, but I needed to read it to believe it. James Dolan is threatening to pause alcohol sales at Rangers games, probably Knicks games as well, amid a feud with the state liquor authority. Said liquor authority has recently opened an investigation into Dolan's use of facial recognition technology at Madison Square Garden to bar legal enemies from attending games or concerts. All regional liquor licenses, like Madison Square Garden, must allow access to the general public in order to maintain said license. In response, Dolan went on to Good Day New York with Fox 5 and threatened to shut down alcohol sales at Rangers games in the near future. They're being extremely aggressive. Hold on. And they're saying we're going to take away your liquor license. So I have a little surprise for them. Basically, they're doing this for publicity, so we're going to give them some publicity. What we're going to do is we're going to pick a night, maybe a Rangers game, and we're going to shut down all the liquor and alcohol in the building.
So his response to them wanting to take away his liquor license is, fine, I won't sell any alcohol.
He went on. Wait, no, it gets better because he went on to then say that the temporary pause on alcohol won't bother him because he's been sober for 29 years. I don't need the liquor, James Dolan.
Cool, but Rangers fans have had to watch the Rangers for the last 29 years, and they need it.
Yeah, they got to buy their $20 beers.
Now, when I first heard he was planning on banning alcohol sales, I thought he was looking at the World Cup and seeing like, oh, there were no arrests, like everything went really well. Oh god, yeah. So, this is
what the hell is
so
this?
hard.
This is hilarious.
It's funny, but like
this is so hilarious.
Much.
Like,
So what does the facial recognition system do? Like, what's its purpose?
Its purpose is
to recognize faces,
to track people who are known critics of Dolan or the team, or
how
like legal enemies.
Have facial recognition software to like.
He's using this in Madison Square Garden.
Yes,
a bad person or something.
Is there a real purpose
in MSG?
Yeah, he wants to keep an eye on people who say things publicly about the New York Knicks.
He's looking for Tom Wilson. Like he's just trying to
find the New York Rangers.
Tom Wilson destroyed his franchise, so he's
looking for anyone who ever said anything bad. He's looking for the guy or anyone who said, "Hey, that time that you interrupted the Rangers season to release talk about a press release where it was what was the quote that he delivered?"
Dolan's had some weird ones.
No, it was about not a hockey act, like an act of violence or something to that effect. What did he say about the Tom Wilson hit? What did he say about the hit?
I'm pulling it out. Hold on.
James Dolan's an American hero because he is like Dr. Doofenshmirtz buying an NHL team.
So true.
Act of violence, Tom Wilson.
No, I just found another article about the facial recognition thing. He said that if someone is suing you, that's confrontational. It's adversarial. If you're being sued, you don't have to welcome that person into your home.
James, you own a public building.
James
People
Dolan.
say, you're so sensitive. You shouldn't defend yourself. Dolan declared during the pointed 17-minute interview. It's like
17
something out of The
minutes, way too
Godfather.
long to
Like,
have a microphone in front of James Dolan.
it's only business. The Garden
like
has to defend itself.
Yes.
Defend
itself from
Yeah.
He's
vicious
acting
attackers.
like he's acting like Tony D'Angelo is gonna like have an uprising at the Madison Square Garden.
It doesn't
They're
prohibit
gonna
anyone from
storm.
entering. It just
No, they're just tracking them. They're keeping
excluding
an eye on them.
lawyers.
Yeah.
pretty much.
They're just keeping an eye on them. That's all.
Yeah.
It's nothing major.
Is-
Although that being said, he is known to eject people who straight up tell him to sell the team. That is not.
Yeah.
That's
so,
not here.
Natasha, you might be able to answer this question. Does he have impact over like general manager decisions with the Rangers, or is he just an owner?
I don't think so.
I'd rather him do that than do this.
He does have that with the Knicks. It is
I
foolish
think
to think that he has not
is
tried
just
to make.
Like he does his thing.
He generally lets the Rangers kind of do what they need to do, but it would not surprise me if he occasionally interferes because never forget the horrifying act of violence statement that he released on behalf of the entire Rangers organization that got them fined $250,000.
That was his statement. I thought the Rangers made that statement like themselves, not just him.
No, the Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers made that statement himself. But come on, he very clearly had a role in releasing that. You're going to sit there and tell me that the owner of the Rangers isn't the one who put that whole thing together? Come on. Yes, he released it as the New York Rangers, but that is his statement. Those are his words. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Zach, who owns the Devils?
We use this as a dereliction.
Josh Harris and someone else.
Okay. Here's the thing. I've never heard Josh Harris's name before, and that's the way it should be.
Yes.
I don't know who owns the Stars. I don't hear anything about them. I know who owns the Mavericks because he won't shut his mouth.
Well,
we know.
To be fair, I don't know. Mark Cuban makes some good points every now and again.
He does.
Yeah.
If you own a professional sports franchise, it is not. You're the money. You're nothing else. You're just money. Now there are some weird exceptions to that. I want a guy like Mario Lemieux to make a statement for the Penguins because he's a hockey guy.
You're making that statement, and you live near Jerry Jones.
Zach, I hate the Cowboys.
That's fine and dandy, but
I hate Jerry Jones so much.
So imagine a more incompetent version of Jerry Jones.
It gets worse than Jerry Jones.
There's James Dolan.
It does get worse.
James Dolan.
Okay, how does
exactly?
Rest in peace to him. And I'm not speaking. I don't want to speak bad about someone who has passed. But who was worse, Eugene Melnick or Dolan here? Because Eugene Melnick there for a while was like snorting lines on his office desk.
Is that before or after? Was that before or after the Senators fan gave a piece of his liver to this man? He literally crowdsourced a organ from Senators fans.
Wow.
NHL owners, man. We shouldn't even bring up Canucks ownership.
I just said Jim Rutherford, and no,
he's not the owner. He's just the president. It gets worse than Jim Rutherford.
It gets worse? Okay.
The people above him, the Aquilinis?
Yeah, the people who finance this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's people that are like, yeah, this is fine. Yeah. I'm happy with this.
Oh, my God.
So,
I'm so glad this released during the show. Any excuse to make fun of James Dolan.
This is I couldn't
It's been a while
more.
Since we've heard from him. It's been a while. He's been quiet. We need more.
There are a lot of words to describe James Dolan. Not one of those words is quiet. Not one.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a news story from him in a while since the Ryan Reeves thing.
Okay.
Which is good for him.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves wanting out is looking better and better each day. That being said, actually,
he also punched Tony D'Angelo in the locker room. He just walked down there. And
I can imagine him doing that.
Were they on the Rangers at the same time? They might have been. I don't
think so.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
were the Rangers? Was Tony D'Angelo ever a teammate of Ryan Reeves?
No, they got Ryan Reeves after
the season that
Tony
where
Tony
it was like banished
was put on waivers because that was the season that Tom Wilson beat up Panarin, and they needed an
Panarin.
enforcer, and then Ryan
Right.
did nothing. So
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
yeah, it all lines up.
Yeah.
I don't.
But Ryan Reeves, currently a member of the Minnesota
Ryan Reeves did
Wild.
throw some punches.
Did you guys see that? Because there were some
It
punches
was
thrown.
so
I've
epic.
seen clips.
So
This is
epic.
some old timey
I
hockey.
love old time hockey. Give
You
it
just
to
got to mention it every now and again. 3 fights in 16 seconds. Obviously, there were every player. They all got together and hugged and had some sportsmanship talk, and they told each other nice things. And then
You having a
somewhere
good
that went
season,
wrong.
bud?
Somewhere
I hope
along
this
the
works
lines
for
that
you.
went wrong, and then they started punching each other.
Yeah.
True.
It's the Flyers. We expect
The Broad Street
you know,
Bullies should be part of their culture.
was
It should
50 years ago. They still like to think
Don't tell
it's
my
still
dad.
there.
Don't tell my dad, because he still thinks fondly back.
Get your dad on the podcast. I want to tell him that was 50 years ago, bud.
That
Let it
would
go.
that would be interesting. That would be very
My
interesting.
dad was a Flyers supporter way back in the day, also. So yeah,
We don't talk about it. The Flyers are how
it
I
is,
got
it
into
is
hockey.
what it is.
It is what it is.
Let's have a moment of silence at some point for all the people
Yeah.
whose parents
have
are
a moment of
Flyers
silence.
fan.
For all the
That
old
being
Flyers.
said, shout out to greasy Chinese food. You bring families closer together. It's really you're a very important. You're a very important part of our society.
Shout out
We
to all
don't
the
know where
Chinese
you would
food
be. We
stores
won't know where we would be
everywhere.
without you. Greasy Chinese food. Thank you
Shout
for
out
also
to all the
being
Chinese
General So
restaurants.
Chicken.
thank you for also being open on Christmas. That means a lot to me. Yeah. So
all the Jews love you.
all the Jews love you.
Zach
all the,
closes.
all the hockey fans love you.
All hockey
You bring,
fans love you.
yes, my earliest memories of hockey are Flyers and greasy Chinese food, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
That is so
And your
awesome.
dad stand up in front of the TV. He's like, I miss the good old days and just punching something.
Well, actually, at that point,
yeah, that's my dad, pretty much.
Actually, at that point in time, Eric Lindros, was still very, very good. So that was exciting. That was exciting. Anyway, we were talking about it a little bit before. Trevor, who's a guy that you think the Toronto Maple Leafs might be able to use right now if they could afford things?
You're trying to get me to say something?
I am.
Yes, you're trying to get you to say something.
Okay. From the situation that he left the team in, the Leafs made the right decision in letting Zach Hyman walk.
100%, because you couldn't have imagined that he would evolve into what he has become.
Absolutely.
Okay, Zach, he's also playing with Connor McDavid.
That is the next
Let's
point.
step back for a
That's the next
second.
point I was going to make. Relax. That being said, we watched a lot of players play with Connor McDavid and not have the results that Zach Hyman has had.
True.
Zach Hyman is truly a talented
We expected Jesse Puljujarvi to walk in to the Oilers' first line and just get 40 goals a year. How has that gone?
Yeah. There's some Leafs bias is gonna show here though.
Of course.
If Michael Bunting's a good guy to come in after Zach Hyman, same role.
That's fair, but he's
Zach Hyman's a step above.
But
Michael Bunting makes a lot less money.
100%, and that's what the Leafs can afford. You can't afford Zach Hyman. You can afford Michael Bunting. So it is what it is.
It's okay.
But
I'm fine with that.
To give Zach his flowers, though, he's got 57 points in about 48 games, topping the mark he set last year in 28 at 54, and he did that in 28 less games this year. So I think it was
most Leafs fans are just happy for him. It's good
as you should be. That being said, this level of production is insane, but you do have to put in the asterisk. He does play with Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and sometimes
Leon
Draisaitl.
He's got a nice little job there.
He does.
A former Leafs on the Oilers, he's doing by far the best.
He's doing pretty good.
You know who I'm talking about, Zach.
Who
has not had an easy transition from Toronto to Edmonton. You know who it is yet?
No.
I should. I'm supposed to.
Know, but
nicest guy in the world, Jack Campbell. Who is?
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Jack Campbell.
I remember it was mourning that he got.
Oh man, is he still a starter?
No.
Oh man, is that I think I also called that.
Yeah.
But Jack Campbell is still Jack Campbell. So
I mean, look,
No, he's sad now.
He
He's
didn't get
not happy, Jack Campbell. He's just sad, nice guy, Jack Campbell.
He's sad, Jack Campbell.
It's too cold in Edmonton for him to walk his cat on a leash now.
Oh, that's so sad.
When he brings orange slices to the locker room, Connor McDavid just hits him with his dirty, ragged sock and tells him to go back to the
You
sticks.
know what? Jack Campbell,
That's such a weird image.
in his last 6 starts, Jack Campbell has a .920 save percentage and a 2.16 goals against.
I mean,
Been
for
happy for
Edmonton,
him.
that's pretty good. I won't lie. Good job.
That's
Sid.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Rare Edmonton.
He's saying that the new gear is helping with some better
Different.
results. You love to see it,
Nice.
but positive things for Jack Campbell after what could have very much
Could have
tough part of
been.
the first
So
part.
I was very mad that the Leafs let him walk because I really
Oh, yeah?
thought make the
No,
money
yeah,
work.
me too.
But now I'm like, damn, Kyle might be a genius, man. Like,
So
Kyle might be really good at this.
my thought process with that is, and after I make this point, I do have to deal with that. For the money that you would have paid Jack Campbell, you can take a flyer on Samsonov and Murray.
And cast a wider net for success.
Exactly. Because you have to consider the difference between, at the end of last season, Jack Campbell and those guys. It probably seemed a lot larger than it actually was.
Yeah. And Jack Campbell also played great as a Leaf. He did. It's very small sample size, but he's a very good goalie here.
And you hope that the last 6 starts he had are
what he is.
Yes. More of what he is as opposed to just a hot streak. Edmonton has been looking for a goalie for I don't even know how long at this point.
When's the last time I've had a good goalie? For an extended period of time. Like who
Mike Smith at times is always very, very good, but he's streaky. Mike Smith is streaky.
Yeah.
And even then I just don't know.
Yeah.
So
it's as much as I don't like the Oilers at all. Like I am an anti-Oilers person because Matthews over McDavid.
Yeah, we're all anti-Oilers here. Come on.
I want to see Jack Campbell succeed so badly, and I want to see Zach Hyman.
I want to see Zach Hyman happy, but not at the price that the Oilers are happy.
As much as like the Matthews 60-goal season was special, we all want to see McDavid score 70, right?
Oh,
like we all want to see him do it just to see what happens.
For sure, sure. You want to see records get broken.
Yes, exactly.
More goals is always fun.
Rasmus Dahlin. He's had a great season. I mean, he's on my fantasy team, so I'm winning there.
So definitely good opportunity.
I've been looking at him basically. But in terms of the Buffalo Sabres, I mean, a couple seasons ago, I was like, the Sabres are so irrelevant. They will never ever be relevant. And now
it's what they're best at.
Because the Sabres are a great team. And I think letting go of Jack Eichel was the best decision they ever made. Like okay.
Okay.
I was a little skeptical. Wait a minute. Let me talk. So, my point is the Sabres are impressive, and I think they've got a good road ahead of them. Are they a playoff team? Maybe not. I don't think so. But no, I don't know.
So I muted Trevor so you can get your point across.
Thank you so much.
Trevor, you've been freed from timeout.
Natasha, the Sabres did not make a decision to move on from Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel made that decision.
Jack Eichel did make that decision for them.
But it was the Sabres that, let him go.
Yes, because they had to. It ended up working, but they had to.
And
it was still,
Let's not forget how bad the Sabres looked also throughout that due to the fact that, they
wouldn't let him get a surgery.
That he wanted. It's a situation that seems to be working out best for both parties. It was very clearly a marriage that was not working. There were a lot higher hopes when the Sabres landed those consecutive number 2 overall picks in Sam Reinhart and Jack Eichel. Unfortunately, it never really
it's real pretty now.
Yeah, it never really materialized on the Sabres. However, Sam Reinhart's doing great things in Florida. Jack Eichel is obviously in Vegas, where I'm sure we expected him to be standing out a bit more as the clear number one
The
forward
coach
for
called
them.
him out. The coach
Good.
called him out that he's not been good enough.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
Weird little.
Jack Eichel should be the best forward on the
really
Vegas Golden
hyped
Knights
up
without a doubt.
when Jack Eichel made it to Vegas, and they're like, he's going to be great for this team, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he's Jack Eichel, so.
This is a guy who was also touted as the face of American hockey.
Yeah.
And it's not as if Austin Matthews wasn't right around the corner.
Right.
This was the guy they were talking about. They were talking about Jack Eichel being the face of Team USA hockey for years and years to come.
So back to Rasmus Dahlin.
Yes,
I mean, other than Rasmus Dahlin, the Sabres have Tage Thompson, who's outstanding.
Owen Power, too.
Owen Power, good rookie season so far. I mean, to me at least, he hasn't been standing out super much, but
still very young though.
His development is going to be a lot of like places to go there. Jeff Skinner, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
There's no reason to panic about Owen Power right now because he should be following a similar path that Dahlin took. So it took Dahlin a few years to really establish himself as that, number one overall pick defenseman that we knew he was going to be. The writing was on the wall.
Top tier defenseman. Like
Dahlin came from Swedish league, right?
For Norris.
Yes.
I think
Owen Power came from college because he played at Michigan.
Yes, he played at Michigan. He was part of the
Michigan boy.
The hockey five between him, Luke Hughes.
Michigan was unfair.
I've never seen a college hockey team that had 4 of the top 5 picks in a draft play for them that following year, where they've all been drafted and then they're all on just teammates.
So we've all accepted defensemen take a little bit longer to bloom than forwards. Not as long as goalies, but take a little bit longer.
Depending. But I think because they revolve around the rest of the team. So when the rest of the team isn't up to par, the defenseman can't really shine in that way.
Perfectly developed. And neither of them played in the CHL, which is closer to the NHL than college or in Switchland.
True.
So what I will say is, I don't know if it takes longer for them to develop.
Yeah.
But it takes a bit longer for them to learn what to do, the right decision.
Yeah.
The learning. Here's one word. The learning curve is steeper for a defenseman than it is for forwards.
Look at Niels Lundqvist in Dallas is still learning how to play defense.
Yeah.
At the NHL level. It's hard.
It is.
And he's still better than he was with the Rangers. So
a lot of really good NHL defensemen have figured it out as they've gone. Brent Burns was drafted into this league as a forward. Never forget that.
We do not talk about that enough.
Dustin Byfuglien played forward and defenseman.
Yeah, it's a hard position to play. It takes it's more mental than forward.
It's a lot of IQ,
and it just comes with age. It comes with experience.
And
Dahlin's hit that point where that experience is paying off for him. 55 points already.
Already a career high.
Oh yeah.
This, quite frankly, there are a lot of snubs that we talk about. The Rasmus Dahlin snub and the Zach Hyman snub are rather egregious.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's a stupid stat, but over his career, he's a minus 58, but he's a plus 20 this year.
So that could change.
That's good.
Few years.
That's good.
And keep in mind, he was a bright spot on some really bad Sabres teams for a long time.
Oh, yeah. They were real bad.
And going back to the point I was making with the first number 2 picks, it does seem as though the series of number 1 picks I've had between Rasmus Dahlin and Owen Power, they will be what the franchise was expecting was going to come earlier with those 2 picks.
Yeah, but they're blossoming into a real team. Took a lot longer than expected. They've been trying to do this for a while, but it finally looks like Buffalo has some guys that can build team around and want to play in Buffalo.
Yes, that's the key part right there.
Because they've had a lot of guys come through that should have been better than they were. Taylor Hall was a Sabre, didn't work. Kyle Okposo was a Sabre, was not good. Wayne Simmons came through, wasn't good. Later Wayne Simmons, but still Wayne Simmons.
Kyle Okposo is a Sabre.
Oh,
he's their captain.
He's their captain? Okay, I take back what I said. The Sabres are a rough look.
So when you look at, it makes sense why he's the captain. So
he's the only one that's been there.
He signed that 7-year deal in 2016. Then he played that year, and then he got hurt or sick or something.
That's what I remember.
Like where it was very, hush hush. He was hospitalized in March 2017 in the neurosurgical intensive care unit at Buffalo General and missed the rest of the season there. So the perseverance and resiliency he's shown to come back from that situation, that obviously struck a chord, and he is a very important part of the Buffalo Sabres. Granted, his 7-year deal in 2016, his deal expires this year. So we'll see if he comes back.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be they might really like him. They wouldn't be stupid to let him go either. It's okay.
Nope. But this is
here, man.
The future's here.
Now,
also,
man.
He was named.
Slapping him in the face.
He was named the captain ahead of this season. This is his first season as captain.
Oh yeah, they might bring him back then.
Yeah. So anything's possible, but Sabres, man,
they're
on the rise.
They're far from the playoffs though, because that Atlantic's just too good.
The Eastern Conference is stacked this year.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. The Eastern Conference is just the race for every playoff spot is going to be really intense, but it's going to be a lot of fun watching teams fight for those wild card spots for sure.
Yeah, because look, Detroit's coming up too. Ottawa's going to be coming up. It's rough for the Sabres. It's rough timeline wise, but they can compete.
That they can.
They're not. Yeah, they definitely can.
So, moving forward, we were talking about the All-Star game. There is a notable player who's currently going to miss the All-Star game. Austin Matthews sprained his knee in the game against the Rangers. He's set to miss 3 weeks and the All-Star game. So he was replaced. He was replaced because this is, of course, the NHL Fan Festival and not really an All-Star game. That's what it is. We've determined this. He was replaced by the captain of the host team, Alexander Barkov. Barkov is one of the more talented players in this league who often does not get the recognition he deserves. There are more deserving players than him to have taken that spot. Without a doubt. However,
Barkov's also a hard player to gauge if you don't watch him because it's a lot of defensive abilities that Sasha's got.
Yeah, he's a solid. He's one of the better two-way centers that you can have. Excuse me. But
is Bergeron really that much better than Barkov right now?
Yes, he is.
Let's have
I'm going to say he is, but I don't think the gap between the two isn't as much as it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Barkov's there.
Yeah.
Matthews being out. Matthews is not hurt nearly as bad as what some people are worried that he could be. He just needs rest. He's a guy that's consistently played banged up for a while now. Give him a few weeks. Let him relax.
Find me an NHL player that is currently perfectly healthy without any sort of injury at this point in the season.
Yeah, Zach. I mean, if you're Sheldon Keefe, coach of the Leafs, do you want to see how many goals Austin can score from here on out, or do you want a fully rested, healthy Austin Matthews come round one?
If I'm Sheldon Keefe, my thought process is, the amount of goals that Austin Matthews has in the regular season hasn't exactly helped me get past the first round.
Exactly.
So,
and it's not like no one's going to pass them, I don't think.
True.
And they're not going to catch Boston. You're going to be 2. You're probably going to play Tampa again. Just get ready for that. Spend the next how many weeks it is till the playoffs just prepping for that. Get Matthews as healthy as possible. It's a shame that we're not going to see him in the skills comp, but dude, just if your knee's hurting, if he wants my knee, he can have it. But just rest.
Speaking of the skills competition, it does seem as though there is a minor incentive, we'll call it that, minor, and relatively speaking, to what these guys make. The winner of each All-Star Game skills competition will win $30,000.
Is this towards charity or to the player? Because they didn't really.
I think
they didn't specify, but
it should be to charity, right?
Because
I would hope.
You would hope so, yeah.
Because you're not going to be like, here, McDavid. Congratulations.
Mind your pockets more.
Here's $30,000.
Yeah, Connor. Here's a car payment.
One car payment for.
Yeah,
I'm obviously joking. Please, I'm joking. I'm sorry.
Not his Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I wasn't there to help him make that finance deal, but like
That's on Connor.
Here's like a night out. Connor,
He
here's
needs to pay
a
off his
dinner.
heated driveway bill.
Yeah, he's got to pay that off.
that he does. So I guess
It's weird that we've never done this before.
it does seem weird, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Why
I
not
don't know,
just
the
give
whole-
everyone charity
Get her
money?
a car.
This whole thing seems very strange. But I do know that there is obviously a cash prize to the team that wins the All-Star game. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's deserved.
Yeah.
I guess let's just move forward to the trade rumors, and then we're already an hour.
Yeah, it's a long episode.
Okay, so not much really new to report that we didn't necessarily talk about.
It's all the same.
But the talks for Bo Horvat are heating up, with the Avs and Bruins reportedly being the teams that are directly pursuing him.
Zach, Natasha, if the Bruins get Bo Horvat,
why would the Bruins need Bo Horvat?
Who would they give up for that?
Yeah,
who would they give up to get
Marcel and some first round picks? Like, no.
And I mean, you have to give up
Where
with
do
someone.
You put them?
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Wait, Bo Horvat's your fourth line grinder.
What's the problem? What's the problem? Taylor Hall is their third line checking left winger.
Every line for the Bruins is good, no matter who is on it. Like
Taylor Hall is playing behind Pavel Zacha.
Oh, here we go. The Pavel Zacha.
I love that. It's so great.
No, it's true.
Also, if he goes to the Avs, cancel the season. They don't need more.
What are you talking about? The Avs are not in the playoff spot right now.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They went on an absolute heater.
Avs only have Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon just came back from like.
Did you just use the words they only have Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon?
Those
like
words
in terms of
they are now.
Look at and Mikko Rantanen. That's it. Pretty much.
No, they're not. They're not in the playoff spot.
They're not.
They're the first team out.
Oh, they made the third spot in the.
That's because everyone pretty much.
Winnipeg and Dallas are viewing Colorado as a freight train right now, coming at them in the standings.
As they should.
Once everyone heals, then they'll be a playoff team again. But I don't think they're doing.
If they add Bo Horvat, it's over.
If they have Bo Horvat, it's over. True.
Oh no, we lost Kadri. What do? Let's go get Bo Horvat.
For who though?
I don't know. Val Nichushkin. Straight up.
Yeah, could you imagine Val Nichushkin on the Canucks?
Jim Benning's not there anymore. I don't think that's going to fly.
Yeah.
They won't make stupid trades anymore.
No, they're still going to make stupid trades, but not like that.
Not stupid.
Yeah.
No, Jim Benning was stupid free agent signings.
That too.
That was the Jim Benning specialty. Drafting really well and ruining it on July 1st. The Jim Benning special.
Drafting someone.
Don't argue it. No, he did okay in the draft. Patterson was him. Horvat was him.
Jake Virtanen.
Okay. slow down, Zach.
That was him. That was it. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're not allowed to talk about Jake Virtanen on the podcast.
That's your rule. That's news to me. So the Canucks are obviously in the midst of a fire sale. All of Horvat, Myers, Besser, and even Demko could be moved by the deadline.
Don't trade Demko.
That would be. You waited for years for him to come up. You waited years for him to come up.
They waited a bit too long for that for Demko.
If they trade Demko, Gary Bettman has to do a second press conference going, guys, they might be taking.
Guys, they might be tanking, he says, from the Arizona State campus right before Vancouver Canucks, Arizona Coyotes.
One team and one team only that's tanking, and it's the Vancouver Canucks. As he's standing behind an NHL game,
even though Vancouver just re-signed Andrei Kuzmenko, so I mean,
because he's good, he's a young player. He's good.
He's a good guy, but like,
because you have to have some players.
What's your favorite mic drop moment from any GM? Like right before they left. Mine, I'll go first. Mine's when Pete Chiarelli signed Mika Koskinen to a 2-year extension for like $4-something million, and then was fired literally an hour later.
There's been some rough ones.
That is peak.
There are so many. I can't think of one.
Why did Bruce Boudreau not do something stupid before he left the Canucks? Because I would have.
Because Bruce Boudreau has a lot of class.
And
And he,
he
recognized that there is like very little he could have done to look like the bad guy in the situation. So
That's true. Someone's gonna give him a job.
no
Hopefully,
doubt.
I pray.
Oh yeah.
I would be very upset if that was his last head coaching job. That being said,
Yeah.
I don't want him coaching my team. I'm happy right now. Everything's fine.
I want him to work for the Leafs.
To work for the Leafs. I noticed that you said work and not the other thing.
Coach.
Yeah.
He can be an assistant coach. I like Sheldon Keefe though.
Do
I don't
you?
care. Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's fair.
I like him for most of the regular season.
Natasha, before we go, figure I'd ask, any update for the Boston Bruins that we should know about? Anything that you've seen that recently?
No, not really.
They're just doing Boston Bruins things.
This is Natasha. Would you like me to answer the question for you? They keep winning games.
I've
And
noticed
they're not
that.
losing games.
Except they lost
And-
like one game. And
Oh my god, the horror.
Oh no!
Oh my
no!
God.
The season's over,
Was
guys.
Olmark in net? Oh no.
Yes, he was.
No, oh no.
Gosh, guys,
I didn't
we're
watch
gonna
the game, so I can't say how it was
The
like.
Bruins are gonna have to be sellers.
Which I was at the
now.
barbershop last week. Granted, you know, the fan, he admitted he wasn't paying much attention to the NHL season, but they were shocked to find out that Olmark was the starter over Swayman.
Yeah, I don't know. Bruins did some
Well,
weird-
neither of them lose hockey games, so it's
Neither of
fine.
them lose. And
Bruins
I
never lose,
just
right?
found that interesting that, pretty sure Olmark is like,
Other than that, it's business as usual.
yeah, you know, is what it is
It is.
Yeah.
what it is. Sometimes we lose. Sometimes we win.
sometimes. Only
Zach,
sometimes.
do you think that wraps us up?
Got him.
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I believe that is all we have for you today.
Another
So-
longer episode today. Look at us.
Look at us
Look
growing
at
up.
us.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Hope you enjoy the weekend. Hope you enjoy the All-Star game. And
Because we
See
won't.
We'll be
'cause
back.
we won't. Enjoy the break from hockey, because I know I will be jonesing for hockey by like day 3. So
Yeah.
Until next week, guys, take it easy. Enjoy the day. And if you're down in Tampa, we are recording on Saturday. Enjoy Gasparilla. Take it easy, everyone.